have nothing for public comment then. I need a motion for the consent agenda that accepts and approves the following: the minutes of the December 28th, 2015 regular meeting, Fire Department financial statements from the month of December, Dollar General Store number 2329 Class C beer permit liquor license, March 1st, 2016 through February 28th, 2017. Do I hear a motion? Motion by Hill, seconded by Vaughn. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion is carried. Next, I need a motion to approve the claims for payment.
So moved.
Motion by Holland.
Second.
Second by Dallenbach. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. I was just looking at the clock. I was looking at the clock.
Are you still watching for the time of game or something? Okay, motion carried.
We're flying.
Next, we have petition from the public for National Mentoring Month. And the mentors have a Mentor Monday, the first Monday of each month, and so I attended the one they had this last Monday. And we have a proclamation in observance of National Mentoring Month in Independence, Iowa. Whereas in 2002, the Harvard T.H. Chan School of Public Health and Mentor, the National Mentor Partnership created National Mentoring Month, whereas the goals of National Mentoring Month are to raise awareness of mentoring, recruit individuals to mentor, and encourage organizations to engage and integrate quality in the mentoring into their efforts. Whereas a mentor is a caring, consistent presence who devotes time to a young person to help that young person discover personal strengths and achieve their potential through a structured and trusting relationship. Whereas quality mentoring encourages positive choices, promotes self-esteem, supports academic achievement, and introduces young people to new ideas. Whereas mentoring programs have shown to be effective in combating school violence and discipline problems, substance abuse, incarceration, truancy. Whereas research shows that young people who were at risk for not completing high school but who had a mentor were 55% more likely to be enrolled in college, 81% more likely to report participating regularly in sports or extracurricular activities, more than twice as likely to say they had a leadership position in a club and sports team, and 78% more likely to volunteer regularly in their communities. Whereas youth developing experts agree that mentoring is critical to the social, emotional, and cognitive development of youth, helping them navigate the path of adulthood more successfully. Whereas mentors help young people set career goals and use their personal contacts to help young people meet industry professionals and find jobs. Whereas all of the above listed benefits serve to link youth to economic opportunity while also strengthening the fiber of our communities. Whereas despite these benefits, 1 in 3 youth will reach age 19 without a mentor, constituting a mentoring gap that demonstrates a need for collaboration and resources. Now, therefore, I, Mayor Bonita Davis, do hereby declare January 2016 National Mentoring Month in Independence, Iowa, and call upon public officials, business and community leaders, and educators, and encourage all Independence, Iowa citizens to observe this month with appropriate ceremonies, activities, and programs in order to, 1, recognize the men and women who serve as staff and volunteers at quality mentoring programs and who help our young people find inner strength and reach their full potential. 2, acknowledge that mentoring is beneficial because it encourages educational achievement, reduces juvenile delinquency, improves life outcomes, and strengthens communities. 3, promotes the creation and expansion of quality mentoring programs across the country to equip young people with the tools needed to lead healthy and productive lives. And 4, support initiatives to close the mentoring gap. And I signed this on January 4th, 2016. Val, the mentoring director for Independent Schools, is here, and I think she wanted to maybe say a few things.
I'm Val Maximovich, 45 915 7th Avenue Northeast. I'm also the Volunteer Mentor Coordinator for the Independence Community School District. I'd like to say thank you this evening for recognizing National Mentoring Month and Mayor Davis for coming to the Mentor Monday. And last year, we had over 1,300 volunteer hours in our school district by community members such as yourselves, not just in the mentoring program, but in the volunteer program in our schools. I really appreciate that partnership we have with you. You may have seen this poster in Independence. It's called, the theme for this year is in real life, and it's around several businesses. In real life, we've all had a mentor. So I'd just like to say again, thank you. And if you've had a mentor, take time to thank them this month, whether it be a parent, a neighbor, a professor, someone that you've still kept in contact with. I also thank some of the audience that's here tonight that's been a mentor in the past, as well as some of you, as well as Mayor Davis. So we say thank you. And anytime you'd like to know more, as Mayor Davis mentioned, we have Mentor Mondays every first Monday of the month at M's Coffee Shop from 4 to 5 p.m. So stop in sometime and say hello. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Next on my agenda is the resolutions. The first one is the yearly mileage reimbursement rate. Need a motion to approve a resolution to set the yearly mileage reimbursement rate when a city employee utilizes a personal vehicle for city business.
So moved.
Motion by Holland,
Second.
seconded by Vaughn.
Oh.
Roll call, please.
Is that second by Vaughn or Lania?
Denny.
Okay.
He's the one that saw his hand go up. Sorry.
Holland,
Yes.
Lania,
Yes.
Vaughn,
Yes.
Earl,
Yes.
Dallenbach,
Yes.
Grover's excuse Brown,
Yes.
Thank you, motion carried. Next is designating newspaper for official publications. Is this one you wanted to come up and talk, Steve?
Sure.
Okay. Just give us your name and address.
My name is Stephen Smith. My wife and I own the News and Buchanan County Review, and we're located at 221 First Street East here in Independence. I'm here tonight because we annually make a request to be designated as a legal newspaper for the city of Independence. I wanted to speak on that tonight as there have been some recent meetings. One, November 9th, City Manager Roeder asked the council to consider options and workshops to learn how to engage residents in city issues. And I got to thinking that, you know, it would help the relationship with the community if they had regular access on our pages, I feel, to the business being conducted in this room every other week. The other thing that has happened recently, at that same meeting, as a matter of fact, Mayor Davis asked attendees and viewers to support Independence businesses in order to keep sales tax dollars here and support our roads and schools. Is the only locally owned and operated newspaper that serves Independence in Buchanan County. I wanted to bring that to your attention and the fact that we are locally owned and operated, and our tax dollars do continue to go to support our local roads, streets, parks, and schools. That's all I have to say. If you have any other questions or comments, I'll be glad to answer whatever I can.
Okay.
Can I make a comment? You know, we've had this discussion before, and personally, I think this fits into one of our strategic planning in helping the community and citizens understand what's going on better if we had both of these papers, because they both reach some overlap, but both of them reach different groups that one or the other doesn't. And I guess personally, and I've said this before, I think the city could use both of these papers to disseminate information to people.
Why haven't we in the past?
What-
Cost.
Yeah.
Yeah, what you're looking at, the issue is not whether or not we can have the news in both papers or put the information in both papers. We can do that with any paper we choose. Designating an official paper, that's the one you are legally required to put all of your legal notices in. Your minutes must be posted in there. They can go into as many papers as you want, but this is the one that you have to put your legal information in. And it is a cost associated with that.
Right.
Generally, you know, at one time, I think the city had 4 papers identified. Well, that means that technically you're supposed to put legal notices in all 4, and that would get very, very expensive. Doesn't mean we can't use both of them, doesn't mean we can't advertise in both, put our stories in both, but it's which paper are your legal notices going into. So if somebody wants to see where we publish our bids, they know they can go to that paper because that's our official newspaper.
Ballpark figure, what are you talking about money?
I don't have a number for you, Denny.
Well, you know what we're paying now.
Yeah.
Double it.
Yeah,
Huh?
I wouldn't even,
Yeah, double what you're paying now, sorry to interrupt, but
No.
it'd be
Yeah.
double what you're paying now.
But
because
what
you-
are we paying?
Yeah, what we're paying now, I guess, too.
Half a double what you're paying now.
Half a double?
half a double.
Multiply that times 7 or 8, yeah.
Denny, I don't have that number off the top of my head, I apologize.
I'll tell
John,
you the
you have that
money-
number?
Get back to you tomorrow, I go along with Bob, I think it would be a good idea to go with both of them, but I don't want a big expense either. I don't spend money, we don't know how much we're spending, because both papers are very good to us, and I think it would be, more people would have access to what's going on if we had both papers.
I agree.
Can we get the figures and take care of this next meeting? Does it have to be done tonight? Can't we?
It's an annual January event, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
where do you want me to legally put the
Right.
meeting minutes tomorrow when they're finished?
On the
I
desk.
guess is my question, because I
Put 'em on the
have to
desk.
have them published in 15 days of this meeting.
How
legally.
many?
You-
15 days.
You do have the option, and again, I want to emphasize, you are not restricted to, you can't put them in more than one place, but you have to have the official newspaper designated. And that's really what this is about, is, who is the paper that is the official newspaper? If you want to do more than that, you have that right to do that. So I guess theoretically, you could add one down the road, but you do need an official newspaper designated.
Well, the advantage to the Bulletin Journal has been that they have the Wednesday and the Saturday edition. They print twice a week. And it is the Independence Bulletin Journal.
But
So, I mean,
I
but I don't have a
do
problem
think
with
we
adding
need
Nate
to
later.
remember, if you're looking at those things, I think, the Winthrop News has a larger circulation.
I would never ever want to get into a circulation discussion. Is the first word I was going to use was war, but because anyway,
Well,
Yeah.
stop there.
I have a question.
they do have a good circulation.
Okay.
You know.
How, you said you have to have them posted within how long?
15 days.
15 days. And how often are you guys actually put out a newspaper?
We're a weekly newspaper.
Okay. So I'd be in there at least in time.
And what day does your paper come out? Not a shopper or anything like that, but the actual official newspaper, what day does that actually come out? Like,
We only publish newspapers, and we've got the paid circulation newspaper, which is the News and Buchanan County Review. That paid publication qualifies us for me to be here to ask to be a legal newspaper. As far as paid circulation numbers, there is no war on that. It's all public record, and John, we're only separated by about 100 or so.
Right.
And there's no animosity between John and myself on this. I think it's rare that a community this size is served so well by two different newspapers. In the community, the circulation is actually so evenly split, as Bob pointed out, that you almost have to use both of them in order to engage the entire community. The thing to get to your question, Mayor, is that our legal notices and advertising run in the paid circulation newspaper, as well as the free community newspaper that we deliver, which is about 4,500 copies in total.
and what dates or days of the week do they come out?
The free community newspaper, our deadline would be Monday, 10 a.m., Gina. The free community newspaper is posted to the internet on Tuesdays. They hit the newsstands on Wednesdays, and they're all delivered in mail on Thursdays.
Okay.
And I know it sounds like a very simple question with a simple answer, but the answer is we actually deliver the newspaper 3 days a week, Tuesday evenings, Wednesday afternoons, and Thursday
But
mornings.
that's the same paper or a different paper each one of those days? I mean,
That's the same.
the same paper. And on your internet, do you have to pay something to be able to read it on the internet, or anybody can just get on your
The guide is
web?
published free for all on our website, but
Okay.
also on our Facebook page.
And the other one that you were talking about, rather than the
News and
guide?
Buchanan County Review is published as a physical newspaper that is delivered to newsstands on Wednesday.
Right.
And to homes on Thursday. And it's also available as an email subscription that some in this room have taken advantage of as well. That's
Okay.
delivered on Wednesday Wednesday afternoon.
But you, in order to get it on your email or on your website, do you have to pay to do that? The same as the people who are getting it delivered to their homes pay for that?
The email version of the newspaper, there is a subscription charge.
Okay.
Just like a regular subscription.
Okay,
The free community newspaper, there's no charge for anybody to read any of that
Okay.
information.
okay, okay. Is there any other questions? I just need a motion for whatever you guys want to do.
I don't think we know what we want to do.
Wait,
I have
wait till
Without-
a question. So, you said your deadline is Monday at 10 a.m. So if I get my meeting minutes done tomorrow, as I usually do, I would send them to you, and then I would meet next Monday's deadline. So what day would those hit the paper?
In the case of working on a regular basis with an entity such as the city council and with yourself on publishing those minutes, if we convened here at 6:30 on Monday nights and you got your minutes to me the next day by 10 a.m. or so, then they could be in the following day's newspaper.
Okay.
Just as my stories, when I cover these meetings on Monday nights, those stories generally hit the stands on Wednesday afternoons.
And those are the unofficial minutes because they have to be approved by the next council
Right.
meeting to be official, so.
Right. So the minutes from tonight's meeting will be approved in 2 weeks.
Right.
Then published.
Well, no, you publish the unofficial ones with the
You publish
next
the
thing, yeah.
unofficial
Unofficial
ones.
meetings are published,
Yeah.
because that would have to fit within that 15-day
Right.
requirement by law.
And so that we could either go within 3 days or within 10 days. So we would fit the requirement very easily.
Okay. And how do we do it on the Independence Bulletin Journal? What day, when do you have to have yours in? Right, we have meetings on Monday night.
They work with me pretty well.
Well, when you're talking, again, official minutes versus stories, it's a little different. The one thing Mr. Hahn brought up, though, is that the Bulletin Journal does come out twice a week. And we generally put, legals can only go in the Bulletin Journal, while we have our own free shopper that gets sent out. That's not considered for the purposes of what you're doing today, that is not a legal newspaper. It's a publication, yes, but it's not for the benefit of city legals. It is, that doesn't count. You can obviously put information in any paper, but it only counts for the paid subscription newspapers,
Okay.
which we come out. Generally, we say our publication dates are Wednesday and Saturday. I know that when I go grocery shopping on Wednesday, that the news is out on the stands already, but and stories do get in faster. But with legals, it's a different animal. And with legals, those are paid by the city. Those rates are set by the legislature. It's something that we don't bid on to you know, that we'll undercut yourself, because no matter what paper you go with across Iowa, you'll pay the same rate per column inch on those. And they're also dictated as to the font size and a few other regulations and such.
Okay,
That's probably more than you want to know.
okay,
The one thing, though, I think is important, the difference being a bi-weekly versus a weekly, and there have been, I know at the school and not as often with the city, though, where there is something that has to get out to the public, you do have 2 chances during the week with the Bulletin Journal to get that out, especially when it comes down to contract bidding and things like that you want to get out.
So what I heard you saying, John, is per square inch, it's the same price,
The same rate.
no matter what
We don't
newspaper we
dictate
put
that.
it in?
again, that's why when you said what the cost would be, it'd be double
Yeah.
what you're paying now because
Well,
it's set
yeah,
by
I
the state
understood that
legislator,
part,
yeah.
but what was it now?
Yeah.
That was my question.
I can
Our-
go in full.
Our budget for this year on publications is 5,400. Now, some of that may be job posting, what have you, but in round numbers, it's a $5,400 annual budget.
So we would double that, not, well, it probably wouldn't actually be 54, I'll just call it 5. So it'd be 10, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Close, I mean, for the legal publications.
yeah. But we're always trying to make things transparent, right? And that has a cost, obviously.
I'd say it's worth that, let everybody know.
I do too, but before I went and spent the taxpayers' money on it, I guess I'd want their opinion a little bit. But you just gave me your opinion. You're part of the taxpayers, aren't you?
And I just need a motion from somebody as to how you want to put
I
it.
make a motion, we designate both the News and the Bulletin Journal as our official papers.
Okay. Okay, I have a motion and a second. This doesn't need roll call. Does? Okay, roll call then.
Lenius,
Yes.
Klein,
Yes.
Hill,
Yes.
Dallenbach,
Yes.
Rovers, absent, Brown,
Yes.
Holland.
Yes.
Okay, motion carried, thank you. Next on the agenda is a resolution to approve designating the city's depository. Currently, we utilize Bank Iowa.
Currently, Bank Iowa is your official depository. Now, we do have funds at other institutions, but they're your official depository. Security State Bank has expressed interest in participating more in the city's deposits as well, so they also have an interest.
Can you have more than one official depository? Or category of official depository, and you have 3 banks listed?
Okay, guys.
How many checking accounts can we have?
Yeah.
I don't think you can have more than one official depository, but you can use other, you can
Which-
house money
which
with
we
other
obviously
banks.
do, yeah.
But you have to have one official depository.
There isn't anything wrong with the system we're using today, is there?
No.
I make a motion, we continue with the same.
I second it.
Okay, have a motion.
Oh, wait, am I supposed to raise my hand?
No, I just noticed you when you raise your hand sometimes. I have a motion and a second to continue using Bank Iowa as our designated city depository. Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Klein,
Yes.
Hill,
Yes.
Dallenbach,
Yes.
Rovers, absent, Brown,
Yes.
Holland,
Yes.
Lenius.
Yes.
Motion carried, thank you. Next on the agenda is in regards to, we have 2 seats open as of January 1st for the Independence Light and Power Board. You should have had on your laptop or your iPad the information from the 2 people. I started out wanting at least to put 1 new person on the board. As I did that, I ended up talking to a couple of the light plant board people. But to start with, I want to acknowledge or publicly thank both Jerry Stelter and Steve Elliott, who are the 2 positions that are up. I think Jerry's even been the chairman, president, whatever title they have for the last couple of years. Steve, I put on there a couple of years ago when we had a vacancy because if somebody have to go off because of their job and stuff. But I want to thank both of them publicly. I sent them out emails before the end of the year, right before the end of 2015, to let them know that I appreciate the work that they've done and feel that they have given quite a bit of their time and effort to the Light Plant Board. If anybody had any questions, both of the candidates that I have here, we're taking them one at a time. It's not like one person is replacing a particular person, it's just that there are 2 seats that are available. And so if anybody would like to, our first one that we're doing is Lance Fricke, since he was the first one I had talked to and made the commitment to decide to do that. He is here. If you would like to have him be introduced, stand up so you at least know. Does everybody even know who Lance is by any means? Okay.
Before we do this, I have some questions, Mayor Davis, and this is no reflection on Jenny or Lance, but Independence Light and Power it's a very important business to this city. It's better than 11 million, and in the last 2 years, the board that's there now has, with the management team and employees, have done some amazing things, including 10% residential reduction, paying off the debt, which was somewhat controversial with the previous manager, and enhancing the telecommunications. Revenue has increased while costs have decreased, that's a pretty significant thing, and it shows that the team is working well together. 2 weeks ago, Steve Elliott was here, and he put in a pretty passionate plea for the board to stay as it was. After that, I in fact talked to all 5 of the current board, including the 2 that you said were unhappy. I
didn't
talked
say
to
anybody that was
all
unhappy.
5 of them.
I didn't say anything about anybody
But you
being
told me
unhappy.
in our meeting that they wanted change.
I talked to a couple of the board members, they had
Yeah.
contacted me, of the light plant board members.
Right.
And they made us, when I told them who it was, they made a suggestion of the second person.
Okay.
Okay.
But you told me that there was still some dissension on that. And I talked to all 5 of them, as well as Kevin and Marty, and some of the employees. And they are all very happy the way things are being run. And they're worried about, with a lot of the things that are coming up, a lot of change. They're a good mix of personalities, and they're good backgrounds. In your remarks, and I'm not exactly sure in the remarks that you made in your packet what they all meant, but you targeted Mr. Bachman as the root of all evil. He was the cause for all the problems 2 years ago. And yes, we didn't get rid of him. In fact, history showed that he was the catalyst for doing a lot of great things. And that board has functioned so well. And fortunately, we kept him on the board. And I think all of these people enjoy working together, and they're doing a good job. Given the turmoil and issues that we had last year with our taxes, with the tax increase, everything, I don't see the reason for making a change at this time. I think that we're better served by leaving the board as it is, and I'd like to know more your reason for wanting to make this change.
Well, it's because the board is working good. This is the best time to make a change and get some new input, some new ideas, possibly represent a different part of the community of people that I wanted at least one person on there. But then in that process of looking at that and talking to different people is when, like I say, I talked to a couple of the light plant board members, and they came up with a second person. At that point, we're comfortable with going ahead and getting 2 new people. So I don't know
But you
what
know-
more. Do you want me to read this out so
What-
everybody in the public knows what I said here and how it's written, or?
I don't care. But I guess what bothers me is you make comments that people have texted you, have called you, that several people have sent, given you the impression that there's problems with the light board.
No?
Well, that's what you say.
No.
That's what you say.
What
And what the other thing is, I haven't had, and I don't know whether the other council people have, we've seen no indication through comments to us that there's anything other than good happening in the last 2 years. None whatsoever. And we haven't seen anything on social media. And I guess what I'd like to do is, for the people who have contacted you and have concerns, have them contact us. I would really like to have it go that way, as well as the people in the community that are concerned that you're making an unnecessary change. I'd like to have them contact us as well.
I don't believe, unless you're reading between the lines, I don't believe I made any comment about there being anything wrong with the current board. My point is, it's a 6-year term, and I would like to see some new blood on it. And that's what I started out to do was one person. And then in that process, I had that person, even sent an email to Kevin Seidels to let him know what my plans were at that time, and then talked to additional people, including a couple of the people on the light plant board, and they came up with a suggestion of a second person. And that's how I ended up with 2 names. I don't see that either one of these 2 people, they're good candidates, they're strong candidates, they bring some new stuff to that board. I don't see that either one of them would be a drawback to the board or cause it to slow down or make any bad things. I think they can continue the good work they're doing. There's still 3 people on that board that have been there for a while and have been making it work. And now this is the best time to make a change, is when a board is working good.
But
So-
I think when you have a board that's working good and is in the middle of as many as important projects as they are, and everybody on the board wants it to stay the same, all 5 people, all the management team wants it to stay the same, the employees see this moving in a positive direction, I don't see the reason to make those changes.
I have not had any one of those people contact me, other than when Steve came here the other day and wanted to keep his position. I have not had any of them point blankly call me and tell me that they wanted. I got an email from Kevin that the board
Right.
would like to, thought everybody was working good together. When I contacted him and told him I wanted at least one new person on the board, I didn't see, he didn't have a problem with that. Understood that that was my responsibility of something to do. So I'm not sure why you called all the people or talked to all the people. but
Because I wanted to know why there were issues, because
I
you said that
didn't say there
were
was issues. I said I wanted to put one new person on the board, and I still would like to do that. It's a 6-year term. I'd like to see one person new be put on the board. I'm presenting to you 2 people tonight. They're done individually. It's up to you guys as to what you want to do, but that's what's on the agenda. And the first one is for Lance.
I never heard that kind of strategy before, Bonnie, when things are working perfect, or as close to perfect as they could. I've never heard in the big world changing the things around like that. When things are working good, you want to keep on doing that. If you're going to hit on number 7, you keep running number 7. You don't run number 8 or 9 or 10. You use the same strategy. Everywhere I've ever been.
I'm still saying this is a 6-year term.
I know how long the
And yes, they're working
term
good
is.
together right now, but I would still like to see some new blood on the board. I don't see that a new person on that board is going to cause that board a problem. If they're functioning so good, there's still 3 people, for sure, that are still going to be on the board. I
Ev-
don't see that as a problem.
Every political move I've ever heard of has 2 reasons.
This shouldn't be politics.
I know, but
shouldn't be
this is
in
politics.
Well-
It is. That's why they elect us. It's politics.
No, they elect us to run the city and to
Right,
make good
and
choices.
that's
To me,
still
a good
politics.
choice is to put some new people on the board, at least one.
You know, one of the things you're doing by not replacing Jerry is you're taking, there's a strong engineering background that he has there, and you're taking that out of the equation. And he's very passionate about
We
being
have some
on
excellent
that board.
staff, employees of that.
I
like
understand
that
they
can
have
do
great
those
staff.
jobs.
They
Yes,
have great staff,
yeah.
but
And they're-
that's the
board
purpose
is
of
not to
them
do the actual
interacting.
work,
No, but they
There's-
give
okay.
guidance and they
Right.
work well together.
right? And so will anybody that gets put on that board. So.
Well, now there's where you're wrong. You just don't put anybody
assume.
on the
Okay,
board.
since we're past the 5 minutes that we would have for a public hearing.
5 minutes doesn't count.
Let's, Don, did you have?
I too went and talked to several folks with respect to the this change or this recommended change. However, I got different responses than what you're telling me, and for that reason, obviously, there's a small state of confusion or whatever. But
Right.
based on all of the people that I've chatted with, my conscience tells me I don't see a problem with this. You have 3/5 of the board still sitting there who will maintain the continuity of that board, if for no other reason they maintain a majority in that situation. The idea of new, fresh blood is the same thing that takes place on library board of trustees. It takes place on city councils. I look right over here at a 4-year, 3.5-year gentleman who's never been on a council before, and he's been doing an excellent job, in my opinion. I see other folks that have been here. Bob's been here for 8 years or 9 years, whatever it might be at this particular point. He too is doing an excellent job, and as he provides a lot of that continuity I spoke of. But I also believe in fresh, new ideas, and the 2 candidates that I see that are being provided for these particular positions will provide that new opinion, new outlook, new view. And I don't see where it's going to cause any detriment or any any issue with a well-run organization. And I do give lots of credit to Kevin Seidels and to Marty with respect to how they're operating the business.
And Linda is in there too.
And yes, and Linda. And I see no reason, they're the ones that bring to the board, much as the department heads bring to the council, the nitty-gritty of the situations, and we look at it and develop the policy of the responses to that, and that's exactly what a Board of Trustees does with any operation, library included.
And I think if you'd looked at the bios on each of these people, they both bring something different to that board, but they both are very capable and talented people to bring something different to the board and help them.
I didn't say that they weren't
Okay.
capable and talented.
Okay.
That's not my purpose. I am a little bit, not sure. I talked to all 5 of them, and they all wanted the board to stay the same as it was.
Who did you talk
But-
to, John?
And I don't,
Okay,
I guess,
This is,
no,
this,
it doesn't matter. I talked to all 5 of them.
and it would be
plus the
inappropriate for
employees.
us to get into that particular type of a conversation.
Right.
The fact remains that I've had these conversations with these people, and I have no bias in any direction with respect to this thing, although and I certainly believe in new blood having served on multiple committees, new blood is always a good idea. Stagnation can occur, and it's not occurring.
They've only been together 2 years, John. You don't get stagnated
Let me
in
finish my
2
sentence,
years.
please. I said, and I don't see stagnation here in the Light Plant Board of Trustees.
No, I don't.
What I do see is 2 nominees that I see no reason would not be, are not, simply because they are motivated individuals, residents of the City of Independence, talented individuals on their own behalf, and would serve the community well.
And that's all I'm trying to say also, so. I need a motion to approve a resolution appointing Lance Fricke as a member of the Independence Light and Power Board of Trustees.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Okay. Roll call, please.
Bill?
I have purposely been quiet during it, and I've talked to Mayor Davis about this, and this has been a very trying decision for me because I know both of these individuals. I feel I've been put in a difficult position that I shouldn't have to be in. I have seen over the 8 years when boards don't necessarily do exactly as the political people would like them to do, whether they are accomplishing something or not, they get taken off. I saw that with the library board a few years ago, didn't like it then. I really feel uncomfortable because I feel both of these people are very good, but I also don't. We have 2 people that want to stay on the board. I think we've made some tremendous, when I first went on the council, the light plant was like a lightning rod. Again, we don't hear that. So I apologize, Lance, but I have to vote no.
Dallenbach?
Yes.
Rover's absent. Brown?
Yes.
Holland?
Yes.
Lenius?
No.
And Vaughn?
No.
What do you have as a vote?
They have 3-3.
What do you do when you have 3-3?
It fails.
Okay. All righty. On to the next item. I don't know if we're gonna do a whole discussion again, but now, the next one is appointing, motion to approve a resolution appointing Jenny Yoder as a member of the Independence Light and Power Board of Trustees. The thing is, you need to understand, I'm not removing anybody from the board. These 2 terms are up. I am just trying to put people on the board, and my choice was to get some new blood on the board. So, motion to approve a resolution appointing Jenny Yoder as a member of the Independence Light and Power Board of Trustees.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Dallenbach?
Yes.
Rover's absent. Brown?
Yes.
Holland?
Yes.
Lenius?
No.
Vaughn?
No.
Bill?
No.
Okay. Then I'll go back to the drawing board, and we'll see what else we come up with. Next on the agenda, thank you both for your interest in being on this. We'll be talking again. Thank you. Next on the agenda is appointing a member to the Board of Adjustments. And I need a motion to approve a resolution appointing Taylor Simmons as a member of the Board of Adjustments for the vacancy that's there.
Make a motion.
Motion by Dallenbach, seconded by,
I'll second.
second by Brown. Roll call, please.
Grover's absent. Brown.
Yes.
Allen.
Yes.
Lenius.
Yes.
Vaughn.
Yes.
Hill.
Yes.
Dallenbach.
Yes.
Okay, motion carried. Next is on the agenda is council committee structure, responsibilities, and operational procedures.
As a result of our planning retreat, we had discussed shrinking the number of council committees from 4 to 3. And in this resolution, it effectively does that, eliminating the Government Services Committee, which was Parks and Library, because the library has a governing body already. Under the Parks Committee, that would in fact be discussed using a Youth Sports Advisory Committee and having a tree committee. The resolution is in front of you to address that.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Second from Hill. Do you need a roll call for this also?
Yes.
Roll call, unless there's any discussion on this?
I will point out that on the second page, halfway down under item 4, there's an extra word in there that will come out of the resolution, which still refers to 4 committees. It is the word 4. That change has not been made on your document, on your website, but that will be made before the final document is put out.
Brown.
Yes.
Allen.
Yes.
Lenius.
Yes.
Vaughn.
Yes.
Hill.
Yes.
Dallenbach.
Yes.
And Grover's absent.
Okay, motion carried. Next on the agenda is a motion to approve a resolution appointing Larry Carson to a 3-year term on the Planning and Zoning Commission. Any discussion on that? First, I need the motion.
I'll make a motion.
Motion from Lenius, second
Second.
by Holland.
Allen.
Yes.
Lenius.
Yes.
Vaughn.
Yes.
Hill.
Yes.
Dallenbach.
Yes.
Grover's absent. Brown.
Yes.
Okay, motion carried. Next on the agenda is appointing a member to the Planning and Zoning Commission. A motion to approve a resolution appointing Janet Bowles to a 1-year term on the Planning and Zoning Commission. These all are terms that are different number of years, so there's a rotation of that particular committee or commission.
But hasn't Janet been on there for some time?
Yeah, these are just renewals. Theirs expired on January 1st.
It's an annual seat?
Yes.
Oh.
Hers is.
Okay.
A month ago or a couple months ago, you guys did that resolution changing them all because they were outdated. And then this is just keeping up with that structure and making it
Okay.
as it's supposed to be.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, motion by Holland, second by Dallenbach. Any other discussion? Roll call.
Lenius.
Yes.
Vaughn.
Yes.
Hill.
Yes.
Dallenbach.
Yes.
Grover's absent. Brown.
Yes.
Allen.
Yes.
Thank you, motion carried. Next on the agenda is the reports. Are there any council committees that have any reports to do for tonight? Nope. We did have some other staff or department heads, did they leave?
Yes.
So,
Tim's kind of.
Tim,
He's hiding.
is Tim hiding?
In the well.
Tim, do you, okay. Randy?
Nothing tonight as well, Madam.
Okay. I'm not sure which side I started on last time. I'll let you start, John.
I have nothing.
Okay?
I have nothing.
Nothing.
I'd just like to thank Jenny and Lance, and don't take things personally.
Where's Dallenbach?
It's not personal, John, don't laugh.
Not laughing at you. I'm laughing at the subject.
Nothing.
Don? Carter?
No thanks.
Is everybody worried about this game that's gonna be playing tonight or something, that nobody
Partly.
has anything?
What game?
We can always tell when there's a game on TV or something. Gina, did you have anything?
I don't have anything.
Okay. Al?
Yes, I do. I wanted to thank Tim since he's here, or maybe he left already.
Out the door.
I wanted to compliment our street crew for the job they did with the last snowfall. It was a difficult one because of the way the moisture came in that wet, heavy sleet, and then it froze. It created a lot of issues for us. They did get out Friday when we had some thawing, and they were able to get that slush off the street before it froze Saturday, and I appreciate the work they did. I want to bring your attention to an invite that you have under the committee reports, or council committee reports. It's the Emergency Management Elected Official Training Session on January 27th at 6 p.m. It's up at the library. Please take a look at that, because that's coming up real close to our next meeting.
Do they need to know who's coming or anything? Head count or nothing?
They don't ask for
Okay,
an RSVP.
okay.
And next Monday, we will have our council workshop at 6:30 here, and it will be budget focused.
And we have Parks and Public Works at 3:30.
Which is also here, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Or the bar, you know.
No, thank you. The main thing I have is I did get the last of my evaluations of our city managers, so I need a committee, was going to ask Bob and Denny, would you two sit on a committee to go through these 7 things? I would like to be on it with you, or whatever, depending on when you set it up.
What do you ask me? I didn't hear it, Paul.
On a committee, we have to have a committee or somebody that goes through all the evaluations we did on the city manager. They're all in sealed envelopes at this point, to do a tally of the totals and make a listing of any
Sure.
comments, that type of thing. Bob's got the experience, so we're gonna lean on him to do that. You probably got it in your computer, don't you? Or
I do.
I thought you might. Might go a little faster that way.
Adam's phone, he looked it up already.
Okay. If there's no other comments, then I would ask for an adjournment. Denny's always the first one. Second, Dallenbach. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion carried, and more meeting is concerned. We are out of here. What game is even on TV?
When do we have to do that, Bob?